I hope that me doing what I'm doing at the moment can inspire people to keep backing women and seeing young girls have more opportunities and are given more chances to see that sport can be a career path.
It's kind of magic that you've able to get something from the ocean, feed it to a land-based animal and affect this outcome.
It was likely that I would be the first Tasmanian female gynae-oncologist, since we're a relatively rare breed.
I would love to see people with all abilities celebrated for who they are and what they bring individually to society.
On the east coast of Tasmania, we're working on exciting science which will have an enormous impact on global warming and meeting our emissions reduction targets. C4I's goal is to reduce methane emissions in livestock. We do that through the cultivation of a red seaweed called Asparagopsis, which we grow on an 1,800 hectare marine lease and also in land-based ponds. The seaweed is harvested and processed into a product we call sea feed and fed to livestock. The way it works is an animal will eat a tiny amount of this product and it reacts with enzymes in their stomach, basically improving the digestive process and stopping the formation of methane. This is important because methane as a greenhouse gas has 84 times the warming effect on our planet as regular carbon dioxide. And about 70% of agriculture's emissions comes from the methane produced by livestock. Methane is a short-lived atmospheric gas. It's only in our atmosphere for around 12 to 20 years. So that's why it's not just a big problem, but an amazing opportunity. We think about what we have to achieve within the next decade. So by mitigating these emissions, we can effectively reduce global emissions by 13% and have a twofold effect on the planet by 2030. It's kind of magic that you've able to get something from the ocean, feed it to a land-based animal and affect this outcome. But it was a very exciting discovery, and it's a discovery that we've been able to scale and are now creating real impact in the world. One of those exciting outcomes is when you can collaborate with companies who also have the same vision and care. One of those was when we launched a low emissions burger or low emissions milk products. We happen to be one of the most biodiverse places on the planet for seaweed. There are many, many other opportunities within seaweed and potential applications that we could create from Australian native seaweeds. I guess I've spent most of my career working in sustainability. I care deeply about the environment. We're in this window of hope and the window of opportunity when it comes to trying to reverse or avoid the worst possible outcomes. So that for me was the real driver, that and thinking about the future on this planet for my children and my grandchildren.
So I never thought of myself as a trailblazer. I think I was the third or fourth woman to be trained as a gynae-oncologist. Hence, it was likely that I would be the first Tasmanian female gynae-oncologist, since we're a relatively rare breed. I was appointed to re-establish the gynae-oncology service for women with gynecological cancers. Early on in Tasmania, I was pleased to collaborate with a group from the Queensland Institute of Medical Research. And in fact, this is one of the pivotal studies that showed that a significant percentage of women with certain types, the common type of ovarian cancer, actually carry genetic mutations. The exciting thing is that because they have these genetic mutations, there are now targeted treatments that significantly lengthen the lives of women and possibly cure women who otherwise would have eventually succumbed from their ovarian cancers. I'm passionate about women with gynecological cancer getting prompt and best care irrespective of where they live. I established a training program for gynecologists who wanted to advance their surgical skills. We particularly chose people who wanted to work in remote or rural areas. So actually one of the things I'm very proud of was bringing nurses into the service. Women with gynecological cancer often have to undergo quite rigorous and lengthy treatments, and that can be very challenging for them. But there's often other aspects of their lives that are impacted upon, and this can be the loss of their fertility or the loss of their ovarian function. This can obviously impact widely on their self-worth and also on their relationships. Because of this, I realised that women needed broader support. I think I can claim to being one of the first clinicians to approach the Tasmanian government and asked for a cancer nurse to work alongside me. So if you ask me what my ultimate goal is, then it's probably to continue to encourage research for improving outcomes for women with gynecological cancers.
I think that unless you're in high-performance sports, striving for something like an Olympic gold medal, you can't really comprehend the work it takes and the trade-offs you make in your life. It takes a lot of work. I train between 35 and 40 hours a week. Every decision you make in your life is to ensure that you're recovered and ready to go for every session. I train out of a high school. It's incredible that a high-performance program with athletes that are on the national team that are winning at Olympic Games train out of a secondary school in Western Brisbane. And we have the younger swimmers train next to us every day and they look up to us. And I think it's really important for them to see that we are training just like them. And I think that's a really important piece. Not putting yourselves on a pedestal. My ultimate goal is to enable young women and young girls to stay in sport longer. The current dropout rate of girls in sport at 15 years old is 50%, and I really want that to change. And by doing that, we need to put more money and resources into research into girls in sport. Over the past 100 or so years, only 2% of research has been done on the female body in athletic performance, and I think that this whole push for women in sport is only at the cusp, and I hope that me doing what I'm doing at the moment can inspire people to keep backing women and seeing young girls have more opportunities and are given more chances to see that sport can be a career path for them when they're young. I met a little girl in my hometown in Launceston after the Paris Olympics, and she told me she did a school project on me and wrote a story about her and I racing each other at the Olympics. And the most important part of the story was when we finished the race, she said, I turn to my competitors and congratulate them because Ariarne does as well. And it made me cry. I want people to realise that no matter where you come from, whether you're male or female, whatever religion, race, that if you have a goal, if you have a dream, if you want to start something new, if you want to make change for the better, you can certainly achieve whatever you like if you are willing to work hard and you believe in yourself.
Young Leaders of Tasmania is really an inspiration from having my daughter, Isabella, who was born with a significant disability. Bella attended mainstream primary school, and during that time, we noticed the impact that she was having on her peers. It was amazing just watching them, their leadership, their personal development occur just through naturally working with Bella. When she transitioned for high school to the local support school, she obviously lost touch with those peers, and we started to think, why can't we have a program where we take students from a mainstream school setting into the support schools and work with a buddy type system where they learn from each other. We started the program Young Leaders of Tasmania with the vision to create a more inclusive environment for her future and for her peers living with a disability, and to create that understanding so young people were growing up without the fear and the stigma associated with disability. At Young Leaders of Tasmania, we run 3 main programs. We have our School Buddies program, where we have young leader, peer mentor participants living without a disability, and we buddy them up with a young person living with a significant disability. We then developed a Holiday Buddies program where we take the same concept and we provide a holiday service for young people living with a disability. We also have just started a Social Buddies program where this one focuses more on school leavers and young adults. We've just witnessed so much amazing things happen within the program. We've had participants in the program create amazing pieces of assistive technology for their buddy, and we've had participants in the program completely change their career direction and continue down a path in the disability sector, whether that be disability support work, medicine or teaching. And as our programs have developed, we've now gone on to be able to employ some of these young leaders as disability support workers. I would love to see people with all abilities celebrated for who they are and what they bring individually to society. If we tap into everyone's abilities and strengths, the world can only be a better place.